should lullaby.
As if it wasn't enough of me changing schedules, I scrapped my review of Fool Me Twice from the Loud House yet again, mainly the fact that I'm having different opinions on it as time keeps going forward. And since Mike requested me to review this episode from Big City Green's April 4, this is honestly the better replacement in order to keep me from getting more stressed out. In this episode, Cricket has Prankle's block with no idea on to pull the ultimate April Fool's prank on his girlfriend Gabriella, and he needs to find different ideas in order to make it work. In its subplot, Alice fooled Gloria that there's going to be a funeral that she passed away, and Gloria instantly catches on the whole ideal. Since this is the first time I'm addressing Gloria's dynamic with Alice, I have to admit that their dynamic really is one of the most unique dynamics in this show, and this episode is a prime example of what Alice can do against other characters that she can't stand, but when it comes to Gloria, she really wants to mess with, but at the same time, Gloria is intelligent enough to see the bigger picture. This is also where we get more of Jade, who is a worker at Gloria's coffee shop. All I can say is that with how she was introduced in her debut, and the fact that it gave Gloria something to work with now that she is an owner of the coffee shop instead of working it in the earlier seasons. Honestly, she's really underrated, and her reactions are just something else. Even though it's been a while since I did Bill's Love Struck, I am still thinking of including her in my fanfic. It's gonna be difficult to make it work, but on the other hand, these Big City Greens characters have personality that can easily make a fanfic work in some capacity. And all I can say is that Jade in this episode really gave me an impression whenever I revisit these episodes. But let's get back to the subplot. I say that whenever we see interactions between Gloria and Alice, especially when Alice is attempting to fool Gloria that she's dead, truth be told, if this happened towards Tilly at most, honestly, she would have believed it. And the fact that Alice is getting to know Gloria more and more, and the fact that Gloria has the upper hand than her, goes to show that she really wants a challenge, but at the same time, Gloria is a difficult challenge to fool. And since it all takes for Gloria to freak out is a prank from Cricket and Gabriella, because as far as I'm concerned, if Alice did something like this, she would ask the help from Cricket and Gabriella. Back to the main plot, the pranker's block that Cricket is dealing with is relatable when it comes to dealing with blocks that centers around your hobbies, and since that Cricket is attempting to find some inspiration in order to get back at Gabriella by having the citizens in Big City Greens to prank him, is literally the only solution for him to come up with a brainstorm ideal. We get a returning character from a season 1 episode, Selena, who are part of the Cyber Knights, and since that's the only way for Cricket to come up with an ultimate prank in some other way to face off Gabriella, he pranks on Selena, which he gets caught when Gabriella spot him, and this made her really upset that this is supposed to be something special between her and Cricket, but at the same time she's also dealing with Pranker's block as well. For me personally, with this being the last episode before they break up due to Gabriella being into goth, honestly, this isn't really the best way to write off the relationship together, but this episode really builds up to something that unfortunately just didn't have some resolution when it comes to Gabriella's way of thinking in comparison to Cricket. And since that it's probably difficult for these two characters to kiss each other, especially on the cheeks, I'm always assuming that if they actually do that, they probably wouldn't even like the idea since that they're too young. Which is a plus for the following episode, but at the same time when it comes to continuing their character, and they just ended up giving Gabriella a goth persona, it makes this episode, along with the previous Gabriella episodes, an afterthought at most. At times, it's supposed to be a showcase that Cricket is mature in handling a girl that he found attractive, but on the other hand, it just makes Gabriella more of an afterthought, possibly more than Jackie from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, since that she has more episodes and interactions with Cricket. Granted, I didn't watch all the episodes centering around Jackie, but with the idea of comparing the goth episode from this show towards the breakup episode from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, this show's pairing is less worse than that, but on the other hand, it really showcases that Disney Channel cartoons can't be able to have a proper relationship flexed out in a way where you get satisfied. I mean, it's one thing if you wanted to bring up the shipping of Gravity Falls and their pairings, but at the same time, when it comes to a show that has the characters the same age, you probably still expected more rather than just an unsatisfying conclusion that just comes out of nowhere. With that being said, I'm giving this episode a 7.5 out of 10. And when I get the chance to make that video, it's probably gonna be mixed when it comes to the pairings and shippings of Jackie and Marco, along with Cricket and Gabriella. All I can say is that Marco deserves Jackie, then Star. And for someone who hasn't watched all the episodes and still have seen the clips involving Marco and Star, that really says a lot onto why I stay far away from Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
You is the start of life for me.